Welcome to our Enter Shaolin podcast. And today we have a special guest on, one of our Abbot members, Dr. Marlon Twyman. And we're going to be talking about intermittent fasting. For those of you who've been following Sifu, Larry, and mine's journey, we're actually on our second month right now of intermittent fasting. We do the 16-8, which is 16 hours of fasting in an 8-hour window. But honestly, like some days it's been like less than that, like only a 6-hour window or 4-hour window. Or like this past week for 3 days, I did 24-hour fast where I fasted from dinner to dinner the next day. And it's been really awesome. Lots of energy, able to handle stress better, which I was just talking with Dr. Marlon about that. I've got a lot of stress going on in my life right now. And if it wasn't for intermittent fasting and obviously what I do with exercise and stuff like that, I don't think I'd be able to handle it. I'd probably be in a corner crying right now. So do you want to share anything about the past month?
With intermittent fasting?
Yeah.
I'm hungry. I want some food. No. What I noticed is sometimes I cheat. And when I cheat, it's like terrible. Like there's this, when you first start intermittent fasting, there's this terrible like 2 weeks of struggling and you feel like you're dying and you're starving. And then once I got through that whole first 2 weeks of intermittent fasting, all of a sudden, it was like, hey, I don't have to eat. And my time of eating kept creeping. Now, what I noticed was, let's just say in the evening time, you're cutting your fast off at 8 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. If I sneak something at like 9 o'clock, you know what I mean? I actually wake up. It's funny. If I eat something after I go back on fast, I wake up very, very hungry. And it feels like the struggle is real again. You know what I mean? But if I have a nice window of not eating before I go to bed, I wake up and literally I can go to the gym.
Yeah, we've been
the past couple of days. We're doing about 20 minutes of actual like working out, lifting weights type stuff, and then like another 30 minutes of cardiovascular work. And I'm not dying after I'm done.
Right.
I'm like,
before you'd have been dying.
Right. And you would think I'd be hungry because I didn't eat the whole night before. The whole morning, and then around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, we're going to the gym, or 12 o'clock, we're going to the gym, and we're not really breaking our fast until 1:30, 2 o'clock, and I'm like, hey, I'm okay with that.
What's the total amount of weight you've lost?
I've only lost about 15 pounds.
He says only. I've only lost 7 pounds. Cry me a river over here.
All right, fair enough.
But yeah, so it's definitely gotten easier. And then, like you said, because there was, I think it was because I was stressed and I was on my period. So I was stressed and on my period. I did cheat last week.
Again.
You got girls. You're gonna have to get over it. The only reason you have kids was because of periods. So Dr. Marlon's like, these guys are crazy. But yeah, I ended up having like some chocolate one night, and then I noticed the same thing the next day. I was like so hungry, and I was just in a brain fog and not happy. But then I just got right back on the horse, and I've been fine since that. So I don't recommend having a late night snack when you're intermittent fasting, unless it's during your eating time or whatever. So yeah, it's been crazy. It's been interesting. Are you gonna stick with it, you think, after 90 days? I'm
going to make it more of a lifestyle.
Me too.
I might cheat here and there, but for the most part,
I love your non-committalness.
Well, I don't want to say something and then, be eating Kentucky Fried Chicken at 12:30 at night. It could happen. You never know. No, seriously. When I was in 30, I was actually intermittent fasting. And I didn't know that that's what I was doing because I just never did the research. I was just stopping eating by like 9 o'clock at night. I was asleep by like 9:45, up by 5 a.m. And I didn't eat until like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that is like fasting.
Right.
So I lost a lot of weight when I was 30. I'm 41 now. And when I was 30 to 31, I went from 228 to 178 pounds, like in 6 months. And it was just, all I did was go to bed early, and I stopped eating late at night. And that to me, I was like, wow, dude, if I go to bed early, I'm not going to stuff my face and I'm not going to be hungry and I'm going to lose weight. But really, I was intermittent fasting.
Right.
Now that I know that's what I'm doing, that's what I did. I think I'm going to stick to that kind of protocol. Because for life.
I'm going to stick to it for life.
Maybe I'll live to be 150, forever.
Right. I'm definitely sticking to it for life just because I just love how much energy I have, how my mood and everything is just more stabilized.
Yeah,
I can deal with a whole lot more pressure.
I had someone ask me on Facebook, "Oh my God, how do you feel not eating?" I'm like, "Yo, dude, it's not the end of the world, right?
It's actually pretty fabulous.
It's okay.
Yeah.
You're not going to die if you don't eat a couple. You take out a meal, you'll start a couple."
So, Marlon, go ahead and share a little bit about what you do for a living and how you found Enter Shaolin. And you've been with us since we've started. So, share anything about that you'd like to share too.
Okay, I'm a family physician out of Dayton, Ohio. I've been in practice since 1988. So board certified in family practice. And family practice is pretty much general medicine. I take care of from pediatrics all the way up to geriatrics. So what we like to say from birth to death. But since I have a couple of pediatricians in my office, I don't really see the kids. I let them handle the kids. So some of my medical background is that I do a lot of sports medicine on the side. Most of it is the combative arts. So I'm a ring certified physician with USA Boxing, which is the amateur arm of boxing. Then I do professional MMA in the state of Ohio as well as any professional boxing matches in the state of Ohio. So I'm licensed there for boxing and mixed martial arts. Been in martial arts for, if you call wrestling, high school, right? In high school. So since high school, so that's back in the 70s, kind of dating myself a little. And started with wrestling, then did some Tai Chi when I was in college. Actually did some judo in college. And when I graduated from college, did a little Shotokan when I was in medical school and did the Tai Chi in medical school. Finished residency in my training and went into Wing Chun. So I started Wing Chun probably about 1990 and did that for a good 10 years. Ran into a Charlie fought guy at a tournament. He says, "Well, you've been doing the Wing Chun for a while. Why don't you step away from that and look at some other arts just so you can get a variety?" So after that, I did Aikijitsu. Don't want to call it Aikido. They made me, make sure to say Aikijitsu,
Right?
Which is a more combative form of Aikido, I guess. Did that for about 6 months and found a 5 animal system guy. And did 5 animal systems for about 10 years. Then I ran into you guys on the internet.
What's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal, I really like tiger. I really like Wing Chun. I can see myself as a Wing Chun tiger, right?
Nice.
Power of a tiger, but Wing Chun is more, we know it's crane and snake. I like the tiger. So I did animal systems for about 10 years. And came across you guys on YouTube. I would do YouTube a lot, just seeing what's out there. And I still look at YouTube just to see what these guys are talking about.
We do too.
Yeah, we still, you have to see what everybody else is talking about, so you don't be taken by surprise. And
Right.
The only thing I've been taken by surprise was Enter Shaolin. Because it was totally different than any art that I had come across, even though, it's Ngo Dac Na. They do the Wing Chun. And it's interesting. It did the Tai Chi, which I have done. It did the 5 animal systems, which I've done, and the Wing Chun. And so it's like, wow, we done the same thing. We all thinking the same way, but I came at a different way than you did, and you guys have. So it felt like home to me. And so I would do your YouTube videos, and we'd go through those over and over. And you were rarely coming out with some more. I said, wait a minute, I've gone through all these videos. When are they gonna come out with some more? And then guess what? You guys started coming out with more and decided to start the actual program. And I started with the $27 one, which was the first.
Right.
And then after about, I'm not sure, maybe a month or 2, I decided to do the Abbot. And so I've been Abbot member since then. Came to my first program with you guys in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
2 years ago now, and enjoyed it. Was impressed. Sifu is, Sifu. We can't say anything about him, but the more impressive things is when you see their students. When you say Sifu student, you expect the Sifu to be good. How good are their students and how well is everything transmitted? And Larry really impressed me. I know he don't like to think that he impressed people, but he impressed me. And I've met a lot of guys and before, and touched hands with a lot of guys, and it's totally different. You know, the explanation of the energy and so forth. And believe it or not, I learned a lot just from the internet. You know, it's easy to pick up, and the drills are easy to pick up. And I like things that are simple. And Sifu has not done anything that's complex. Everything has really been simple and straightforward with what you're supposed to do with your energy. And so from that, the rest is history, joining you guys. Now, from a medical standpoint, I deal with obesity a lot. And I've been doing obesity for years since I've been in practice. So I've used all the different medications that's out there. I've had to refer people to the gastric bypass surgeries and so forth. And what started coming to me maybe in 2013, I was joining a blog service, and one of the things they say, oh, you know, do a blog. I said, what the heck am I going to blog about? And I said, well, what about obesity? So I just started researching and doing obesity. And one of the things that I found is that people don't understand that weight loss is always seen as a threat to survival.
Right.
Because your body's job is to see to it that you're able to maintain your weight. So your body does two things, is to maintain your body temperature at 98.6, and then to maintain your body weight at whatever level your set point is. So there's a theory I call set point theory, where your body actually tries to keep you within a certain parameter. And I like to say, I tell people usually 5% plus or minus is that your weight tries to maintain itself. And it may be even more finer than that, maybe 1 to 2%, but 5% is a very conservative. So I started noticing that because I had the luxury of looking at patient charts.
Right.
I can look at patients that are obese, and I can look at patients who are not obese and holding their weight. And what I found is, over time, people's weight pretty much stay the same, plus or minus a few pounds, whether or not they're overweight or they're at weight. And when I put people on weight loss programs, they were rarely successful at sustaining weight loss, which is what kind of made me really start looking more into obesity, because every program on the planet that I've come across works for getting weight off. They will get the weight off because it's just a matter of portion control. Every program is going to have their little secret ingredient, but every program is going to say this: you need to drink water, you need to decrease your portions,
Right.
you need to get some exercise,
Right.
you need to make sure you're sleeping, and you need to, what I like to add is, you need to manage stress better. Right? And so with that, people still don't keep weight off. I looked at some of the best programs out there. It's like Weight Watchers. You know, people lose weight on Weight Watchers, but none of the programs out there have sustained weight loss.
Right. They always gain it back if they get off the program.
Always gain it back. And one thing I noticed that Larry said just now is that, oh, I've lost 15 pounds. And then you said, I lost 6 pounds on intermittent fasting.
7 pounds.
7 pounds, excuse me. Yeah, 7 pounds. And so here's what happens. Your body's at a set point. And its job is to see to it that you actually maintain that weight. And Larry mentioned that, hey, you know, I had gone from 228 down to 170 something in a 6-month period. 6 months is the key factor.
Yes.
If you lose 10% of your body weight within 6 months, the body sees that as a threat. And it will try to stop you from doing it any further.
And that's probably why I hit that mark. And then I'm like, I looked at myself and I was like, oh my God, dude, this is terrible. I'm like, I must have to lose more weight.
Right.
So I cut in my food intake, but I wasn't losing anything. I was just like, oh man, I'm starving and I'm not losing any weight. This sucks.
Exactly. And so that's what happens in set point theory. Kind of points to that your body's at a set point and it tries to maintain it. And if you think about the reasons for losing weight, there's no reason to lose weight normally. There's only one reason, that's intentionally. Every other reason means that there's something wrong with your system. Your body's unable to maintain your weight means something is interfering with it.
Right.
And a lot of times when we're losing weight.
Isn't that powerful what he just said?
It's very powerful.
That was like one of the most powerful statements I've heard in a long time. There's no reason why you should actually be losing weight unless you're doing it on purpose or something's really bad.
Exactly.
Not doing it on purpose, then something's wrong. Yep.
And that's it. And so the other thing I found out is that just through discovery is that people don't take weight loss serious.
It's true.
But your body takes it serious because it has tied survival in with it. Mm-hmm. My ability to maintain weight means that I'm able to survive.
Right.
If I can't maintain my weight, I'm not going to live. And so that's why it has a lot of resources geared towards maintaining your body weight. Now, when we start talking about intermittent fasting, that's the natural way of us evolving.
Oh, yeah. When I did the research, Marlon, I was like blown away. I was like, how insane is it that we're more sedentary than we've ever been, right? As creatures, right? As human beings.
Right.
And yet they tell us to eat more food than we've ever really eaten. Like they're setting us up for failure. You know what I mean? Like it's
exactly.
It's horrible.
So here's the deal. You want to see yourself as a prehistoric person. Mm-hmm. We have a modern mind, up-to-date mind and brain that's evolved to be very modern. Mm-hmm. Our body is lagging behind to prehistoric times.
Right. Our body's like, what are you doing?
Exactly. So think about this. We're prehistoric, meaning that we're hunting big game. Me and Larry, because we wouldn't let the women go hunting, you get to stay home, right? So women would pretty much stay back, and the guys, me and Larry, would go hunting.
I'd be hunting. I'd be gathering. Gathering all edibles.
Exactly. She'd be gathering.
Getting the herbs and stuff, you know.
So here's what happens. Is it more efficient for me, Larry, and the other guys to hunt a big mastodon for, say, our tribe is like 200 people, or to run around trying to find enough rabbits and small game to feed 200 people?
Go big or go home.
Exactly. Go big or go home. And so it's from an evolutionary standpoint, you know, we ate big game, especially when we're up north, mm-hmm. where there was a lot of vegetation. So there were more animals. So we would go from an efficiency standpoint of learning how to trap and kill big game animals for efficiency. And so then the other thing we had to do, how often do you think we were finding food and were we able to refrigerate it and all of this other stuff?
That's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, look, if you're gonna eat meat, that's cool, but prehistorically, we would not have been eating meat every single day for every single meal.
Let me get this right. What you're saying is I just can't go to the butcher and just get my meat when I want it? No. I gotta actually hunt that stuff.
You gotta hunt it.
You gotta hunt that stuff.
It takes some time, yeah.
What if I don't catch anything?
Well, guess what? You're probably gonna just be eating some, vegetation or something.
Berries.
So here's how you would do that, Larry. So here's how you would do that in the modern time. You would only buy enough meat to feed you for one day. Right? So that way you eat it. Then you have to, oh my God, I had to go back to the groceries, the butcher, to get me some more meat.
Right.
Now, if you picked a certain store, a real, say, meat shop, where you're getting your local meat that's grass-fed and all of that without the antibiotics and so forth.
That's very important.
Right. And a lot of times those people aren't just around the corner to you.
And it's going to cost you a little bit more money, but it's worth it.
Exactly. And they're not around the corner from you. They're probably like, half hour to an hour away from where you live. Which means if you only buy enough meat for one day, the chances of you going back there tomorrow going to be slim. So that automatically would start cutting it kind of put you in that prehistoric state where I'm only getting meat on a maybe once a week basis. And then I'm supplementing my rest of my food time with the veggies and grains and so forth. So that's how you can kind of mimic our hunter-gatherers and hunters back in the day, is not going to the grocery store. As we want to go to the grocery store a lot more than we're going now. Because if you're shopping less than only one time or two times a month, you know you're buying processed foods.
Right. That's not good. Yeah.
Because those are the only ones that are going to last you a month or two.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
No, we go shopping like at least a couple times a week between.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, to get the good stuff.
And so, and when you do it that way, you're going back into your gathering, you're going to the fruit section and the vegetable section, and you're actually looking around for that perfect fruit and perfect vegetable, and you're spending time actually hunting and gathering your food.
Right.
On that day, right? On that trip. And so you're able to come back. And so you automatically start intermittent fasting, right? I think I was telling Larry and you that I've been doing that for years and didn't call it. I was just saying, hey, only eat one meal a day. And if I eat more.
We've been reading a lot about that. So we're on like 2 meals a day. Though sometimes like I've been doing 1 meal a day. Like I did 3 times last week where I only did 1 meal a day. But it was interesting. We saw like in the Dead Sea Scrolls that the Essenes talked about how if you want to have great health, do 2 meals a day. One at when the sun is the highest in the sky, and then one when the sun sets. Or if you want the angels to be basically elated with you and amazed and have even better health and blessings, then do 1 meal a day towards the end of the day.
That's crazy. And they said that
1,000 years
ago.
That's amazing, you know. And
is it towards the end of the day, you say?
Yeah, towards the end of the day.
That was 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, when the sun sets. Yeah.
So think about this. The majority of the time I eat my main meal is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I rarely, the only time I eat, say breakfast, lunch, and dinner, if I'm out of town on a conference where they serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I don't know if I'm going to do that this time. I might just like be like, I'll sit here and hang out with you guys. I was thinking about that. I was like, I don't know when we go to Pittsburgh that I'm actually going to change it up. I don't know.
So here's
I like me some hash browns. I don't know.
So here's the deal about that. So you remember we're prehistoric.
Mm-hmm.
So from an evolutionary standpoint, we develop fat as a storage form of energy. Mm-hmm. And so it just makes logical sense that the people who were able to actually convert fat into energy probably were the ones that survived, right? If you can't, because we don't know when we're going to get a meal. So we had to have a storage form of energy. So your body stores food pretty much 2 ways: fat in adipose tissue or glycogen, which is in muscle. So muscle has its own storage, which is glycogen. The rest of the body pretty much uses fat. And that makes sense that your muscle system would have a different storage form and energy source than the rest of your body, because it has to be able to get you through the other, to get you to the areas and be rapidly available so you can run, be strong, and not run out of your important fat for your brain, your other organ systems. So our bodies actually evolved never to turn down food. So imagine.
I never turned down food.
So think about this. We've been hunting for food. We haven't had food in a week, and we finally come up on it. What do you think we're going to do when we get it prepared to eat?
We're going to chow down.
We're going to chow down on that stuff, right? We're going to chow down. And then once we get finished with that, our brain seems like it actually forgets that we ate. That's why you can see people after they eating dinner, and maybe an hour, 2 hours later, if they see their kids eating something that smells good and looks good, they start nibbling on it. You can't be hungry.
Right.
But the food presented itself and it triggered you to. It's because I'm thinking that your brain actually goes back to thinking, well, I got my meal in, we better not eat for another week or so. And so it resets to that to be ready to eat again.
Right.
And so explain can eat at any time.
And then
getting back to weight loss and weight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was going to say real quick, along those same lines, a lot of the stuff that they're putting in the foods tricks your brain into thinking that you're still hungry when you're actually not. So then you're overeating on top of just what
exactly
that natural innate ability to see food and go, okay, it's time to eat.
Right. Because no one should be enticed to eat when it's something we have to do. Right. And so we have pretty much 5 senses of taste. We have sweet, right? If it's sweet, I'm going to eat it. Mm-hmm. If it's salty, I'm going to eat it. If it's umami, Umami means flavorful.
Yep.
I'm going to eat it. Now, sour, I may eat it. But sour usually tell me that something is wrong with it, with the food. And then if it's bitter, that usually tells me that something is wrong with it. So there's 3 tastes that tells us food is good to eat, and 2 tastes that really tell us that something may be wrong with it. Now, what manufacturers use is sweet and salty to get us to eat their product.
And more.
And that should be a hint to anybody. You should not have to be tricked into eating.
Right.
Because your body automatically knows what it needs. For instance, I use this as an example. Sugar. How many people, and we have kids, how many times have we seen our kids take a teaspoon of sugar and just start eating teaspoons of sugar one after the other?
I haven't seen
I kill my kids.
I was gonna say, but I know what you mean. Yeah, I've definitely seen that before.
And I was at
right, because we don't. Yeah. We don't really do that, do we? We might do it one time, but we don't keep doing spoon after spoon.
No.
But we'll take a glass of liquid and add 6 teaspoons to it.
Right.
Think about that.
Chug.
Right. So think about that.
Kool-Aid. What's up?
Right, exactly. So your body's told you that. Your body's told you that, a teaspoon of sugar is not too cool for me to have.
Right.
But something is telling you, you know what? Go on and put that 6 of them in that fluid and drink it down.
Right. And then they want
that's supposed to be healthy for you. And it can't be healthy for you. If your body won't take it without having to be tricked into it, it's probably not healthy for you.
Right.
See, so that's another sign of what can you eat naturally without being enticed to do it. So if you think about corn, potatoes, rice, wheat, and sugar, which I call the bad foods, versus vegetables, you have to actually do something to corn, potatoes, rice, wheat, and sugar before you can put them on your table.
Right. You can't eat them.
Whereas regular fruits and vegetables, you can take those straight from the garden or the trees and put them on your table and start eating. That's another sign to let you know what's good for you.
Absolutely.
How simple it is for you to use it. If I had to do a lot of movement, make a lot of steps in order to use it, or I have to have some special intelligence, like for me, I don't know how to prepare rice out of the field. If I grew some rice, I wouldn't know what the heck to do with it.
I wouldn't either. I just look like, well, that's pretty.
Yeah, and wheat, I wouldn't know what to do with wheat that's fresh out of the ground. You have to learn how to do that. Somebody had to tell you, oh yeah, this is what you do. Or sugar cane, how to extract sugar from sugar cane. Right?
Right. I've seen them in the store and I'll look at them. I'm like, if I just saw this in the wild, I wouldn't have any.
You would never eat it, right?
I would have no idea what to do with it. Yeah.
And that's another key. If you saw it out in the wild, which one would you more likely eat? What we call regular fruits and vegetables,
right?
Or corn, potato, rice, wheat, and sugar.
I'm gonna go for the fruits and vegetables.
Exactly.
Well, corn's kind of attractive.
Well, I was gonna say his wife will totally eat corn raw. Like I've seen her, and she'll eat 5 of them in a row. Like I kid you not. Like she's got a problem.
What? That's now. I've heard people do that, but that's not the norm, right?
No, it's not.
People they say raw corn and just start eating it. But you do have some people that do that, and I've heard that people will eat a raw potato.
I've heard of people doing that. Have you ever tasted a piece of raw potato? It tastes gross. I can't even imagine.
That's what I'm saying. And so you don't really do that.
Right.
But here's another thing people don't understand. Corn, potatoes, rice, wheat, and sugar. And I always ask people this question. Do you drink alcohol? Alcohol beverage. They said, oh, no, I don't drink. I said, you eat corn. Whiskey comes from corn.
Right.
Certain vodkas come from potato.
Mm-hmm.
Sake is from rice.
Yes, it is.
Beer is from wheat. And rum is from sugarcane. I have never seen any tomato wine, lettuce wine, collard green wine, or kale wine.
Nope. Can't say that I have.
And so that's another clue as to, is a food really something that we should be eating on a regular basis? Can you eat corn, potato, rice? Of course you can. you just don't want to do that stuff on a regular basis.
No, you don't. You
Right?
don't.
Those are what I call emergency storage type, because they can be stored.
Yep.
Those foods come in handy when you don't have fresh food around for those famine times, so that you can live until you get the next harvest. That's because guess what? If I don't eat anything, I'm going to die.
Eventually, yeah.
So I may as well eat corn, potatoes, rice, wheat, and sugar and survive until I can get to the foods that I really need to be eating on a more regular basis. So if you're doing the intermittent fasting and eating the right foods on a regular basis, you can have those discretions because your body's strong enough to fight off the toxic effects of those. Okay, so that's how you want to approach food. And as far as there's a lot of mythology about, oh, it's wrong to eat one meal a day. You should be eating all 5, 6 small meals a day because it's about metabolism, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I did that before back in 2008, and it's something that my body naturally did. I didn't even research it. Just for some reason that seemed to work for me, and I did lose I actually wasn't trying to lose weight. It was funny. I kind of accepted. All right, at that time I think it was like a size 10, and I was like, oh, I'll just gonna end up being a size 10. I'm never gonna get back to size 7. It is what it is. But I actually got back to size 7, so it does make you rev up, your metabolism and stuff like that. But I found that I was hungry all day long because of it. So if I compare that to this, at the end of the day, I still got to the same thing. Like I lost the weight or whatever, but my energy is more stable this way. My mood's more stable this way. And I'm saving money because I'm not eating as much food.
Right. And so here's the deal. You remember we talked about set point.
Mm-hmm.
So think about this. Your body's trying to maintain your weight. Let's say 200 pounds. Trying to maintain you at 200 pounds. If I say, let me eat 5 to 6 small meals a day, it's going to boost my metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
And the message you're sending to your body is, oh my God, I might lose weight eating all these calories, so I need to burn these off. So I have to boost my metabolism in order to maintain my energy balance. I don't want to be putting on too much weight and I don't want to lose it. So in order to handle all these calories that's coming in my system, I had to rev up my metabolism.
Right.
Now, when I only eat 1 meal a day, my body says, okay, to maintain my weight, I need to make adjustments so that the calories that I'm getting from that 1 meal a day is going to allow me to maintain my weight. So that's why sometimes people, when they first start an intermittent fast, they are tired. Because you're slowing your metabolism, you change your metabolism around to make the adjustment. And that's done because your body don't trust this. Body don't trust that we're going to continue to only intermittent fast. Forever.
Can you blame it though?
Right.
Can you really blame it with the stuff we do to our bodies?
Exactly. So it's not going to believe you that, oh, yeah, right, Larry, and you're going to eat 1 meal a day. Yeah, right. But then as you start going on longer and longer, it'll start really making that adjustment. Right. So that you won't get tired anymore.
It has to start working with you. Yeah.
It has to trust you. It has to trust that it has to get that data point to saying, okay, he's for real about that. And she's for real about us only eating 1 meal a day. So your body's all about adapting. So it's going to adapt to 1 meal a day. It'll adapt to 5 meals a day without gaining weight.
Right.
The things that make people gain weight tends to be depression. It's anything that can interfere with your body's ability to keep your set point. So you have to be able to override your system. And what better thing to override your system than something like depression, which you feel bad. You feel bad and you want to feel better. And right. So I tend to reach for food because food is a double whammy. It tastes good.
Right.
And the food that tends to taste good are the ones that works for you because it got the sugar, the salt, and the flavor in it that allows you to feel good eating.
Right, you feel good in the moment, but you don't feel good afterwards.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, but what happens is that makes you eat more because you feel good in the moment.
Right, then you're like, oh man, give me some more of that chocolate.
And so I can guarantee almost anyone who's put on weight without trying over the age of 25, because that's usually when you stabilize your weight, your adult weight. If they put on weight over that, they've been depressed.
Oh, yeah.
Now, people tend to lose weight if they have traumatic events that happen in their life. because you're not really trying to feel good about traumatic events. You know, you don't feel good about your parent dying or somebody, a Holocaust or something like that. You won't feel good about that. You feel bad about that, but it's not like you're trying to feel good about it. It's like, and so you tend to take your appetite away and not want to eat. And so that's why you can see some people respond to weight loss and some people weight gain. I think weight gain tend to be more the social, personal relationship type thing.
Yeah,
versus,
I think a lot of weight
versus traumatic stuff.
Is from traditional families, like, you know, big Italian family. The way my mom and my dad cooked and the way that my family cooked food.
Eat.
Yeah, you got to eat, more food. But, you know, it was never really, now that I know better in life, I look back and go, oh my God, this is the stuff they had me eating. No wonder why I had such an issue eating certain foods.
Yeah, so definitely.
Even serving size, like I do better. I could probably lose a ton of weight if I continue a certain style of eating, which is to look at what an actual serving size is and eat the serving size. I realized for me, 3 servings looks like a serving. I'm like, oh, that's a serving. I don't know what you're talking about. Give me that. Right. And then I'm like, and I like that, dude. I'm like, this is a serving?
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
my serving.
No wonder I was so big. That's why
I think you guys looked at my video.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Okay. You remember I mentioned the hand span serving size?
Yes, yep.
If you look at the span of your hand, if you put that up against a plate, most people from the tip of the thumb to the tip of the baby
I'll
fingers.
be getting one of those small plates, the tiny little plates versus a big one.
It'll actually be close to 9 inches.
Yep.
Which is the size of the plate you should eat off of. Yep. So your hand span is really the maximum amount of food you should eat at one setting anyway, which is about 9 inches. So Larry, you got big hands, you get to eat.
Look.
Not 2 hands now, 1 hand.
Not 2 hands, just one.
What about stacking? Can I stack?
No, that's why I call it no leaning
no
leaning towers a piece.
That little plate, right, Marlon? And it'll be like this high. You'll be like,
exactly. No. Yeah, I got a 4-inch plate, but it's stacked 8 inches high. And so if you look at your palm, that should be your protein size.
Right.
Right? And then what I used the distance between your, that's a big piece of protein though.
That's big. It is.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
You have big old compared to mine.
Actually, you know what? Since I've been intermittent fasting and been paying attention to this, I love meat, but I just eat chicken. I eat poultry and fish is all I eat, and I don't eat as much.
Exactly.
And I don't feel like eating as much.
Exactly.
Even me, as a vegetarian, like my protein sources, I can't eat as much protein as I could before with the rice, the beans. I don't really eat a lot of rice. I try to avoid that over the past couple years because it just does not make my body happy. But like the lentils and chickpeas and beans and things like that, I can only eat like literally, like you said, I naturally my body goes like a cup. That's it. That's all I can eat in one sitting. That's it. And even a day. And sometimes I don't even want that much.
And so what I tell you for the carbs should fit between your thumb and index finger. The space between your thumb and index finger is for your carbs. And then the rest of your plate is your veggies.
Larry will be like,
I know.
Look, that's a lot.
I play carb, man. I get me some carb action going on. That's what I'm saying.
And so that's how you do that. And that way you don't have to carb count and all that stuff. Just keep everything nice and simple because you're not going to have those special things with you.
Yeah. What's really cool about intermittent fast, as you're talking about this stuff, when I started to fast, I really did eat pretty crappy on purpose. I just wanted to stuff my face in my window, right? I'm like, woohoo, it's a party in my window. I'm having a good time, right? But what I noticed, and this is what really did happen, is I started feeling the effect of what carbohydrates does. Because you're like, it's a party. I'm going to take a nap. So you naturally start if you pay attention to what your body's telling you,
exactly,
it starts saying, hey, I don't eat beets. I hate beets. And we were at Ohana's juice bar, this juice bar here where we live. And I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, it's beet juice.
And you're like, I want that.
I want some beet juice. I thought I was pregnant or something. Right. What am I craving beet juice? Can I have a beet juice? And I'm like, all right, but I wanted it. Like I never
Right.
wanted beet juice before.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't like beets. I love beets, but yeah, him and
so
Aaron are
it was
like
just
beets.
it was just interesting to see as I keep doing this how my palate is changing for certain.
Exactly.
Like I'm not forcing myself to make changes. It's just you know, I would maybe want like French fries. That would be like something I'm like, oh, I got some French fries. Now I'm like, you know, I really like some lettuce wraps.
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah, your
That's
body.
how you do.
Yeah, your body naturally adapts to it. Like if you start feeding it the proper fuel, it's just gonna want more of the good stuff.
Right, because it knows what it needs. Here's the deal. Your body only needs looking for 5 things out of food. Does it have some protein in it? Does it have some carbs in it? Does it have some fat in it? Does it have some minerals? And does it have some vitamins? Everything else, your body has to decide what it's going to do with it. So if you don't have, if you ate a piece of paper, all it's going to try to do is, does it have some protein in it? Does it have some fat in it? Does it have some carbs in it? Does it have some vitamins in it? Does it have some minerals in it? It's you who want that other stuff, right? We want the other stuff. Your body only looking for the protein. Even if you eat fast foods, right? The wrong stuff, your body still say, does it have some protein in it? Does it have some fat in it? Let me extract that. Once it extracts all of that, then they say, why is this other stuff here?
What is this stuff?
What is this stuff? We need to get rid of it. Now, here's where the problem comes.
Mm-hmm.
Your body has to figure a way can it get rid of it. Now, some of the stuff that we eat is fat soluble, meaning it can be stored in your fat. Some stuff is water soluble. Some stuff had to get stored in your joints, in your muscles. So a lot of these foods that cause our diseases and illness is because they can't get up our system fast enough. Because one, we don't drink enough water to flush them out.
Right.
Right. And so those are things that we have to understand that your body only needs 5 things like that. Now we give it fiber and all of that. That's just to help clean out your colon and intestines. But other than things that's going to be absorbed, it's those 5 things.
Right.
So all we have to do is make sure you keep eating simple. It should never be complex. Because from the Bible, if you study the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
God promises food, shelter, and clothing.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy.
If he promises food, that means it should be readily available for everybody.
Right.
I should not have to have a PhD in order to figure out how to extract some food from something.
Right.
Right? And so that's how that light bulb should go on in your head if you find that you have to do a lot of thinking.
Right. Or if you, like if you are buying something at the store, like you said, like look at the fruits, the vegetables and stuff like that. If it's something that can last you a whole month, you probably shouldn't be.
Right. You probably shouldn't be eating it. If it can last you a whole month.
And a buddy of mine said, when you're picking foods to eat, it made sense to me. You pick, you want to eat foods that have less ingredients in it. The more ingredients food has, the worse it is for you. The less ingredients the food has.
So you just grab the natural stuff. It's just one thing. It's a bunch of things.
Because most food's going to have probably about 2-3 things at the top that's going to be natural, unless you got a lot of mixed vegetables, fresh stuff. Once you start getting past that 3, you have to start looking at it. What is this other stuff?
If you can't pronounce it, well,
no, I can't have it. And so that's basically what it comes down to. Food should always be simple.
And it really is simple. I think that's the funny part. Like people try to overcomplicate things, and if you just keep it simple, your body is going to keep wanting more of that stuff. And I was actually watching a YouTube thing, and this guy was like, look, before I didn't even like fruits and vegetables. Like I just ate he loved pizza. He loved anything that was greasy and junky. Like that's what he gravitated towards. He even you ate Oreos for breakfast, this guy, right? Hated fruits and vegetables. And eventually, because his weight got really crazy, he was getting diabetes, all this stuff going on. Him and his wife finally decided to look at just eating how God created us to eat, fruits, vegetables, meats here and there, but not a lot, that kind of stuff. And just by making those changes, he was amazed because he went from a guy that didn't even know what a blackberry looked like to being able to go into the store, and he just gravitates towards the fruits and vegetables, and he loves them all and likes actually trying them. So a lot of people, they freak out. They're like, well, I hate fruits and vegetables. your palate will change if you allow it the opportunity to do so.
Right. And here's another thing people get caught up in. They think they have to try to find something different to eat every day.
Oh, I'm a creature of habit. I don't have that problem. I prefer, honestly, to know every day what I'm eating, and I don't have to think about it. I just get what I'm eating and I go about my business. It's when you try to be creative.
Right.
That's either that just makes me go, it hurts my head, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go down the street and just pick up a hoagie.
Because think about
too much effort.
We're prehistoric, remember? What
Right.
do you think prehistoric people had all those choices?
No.
They probably ate the same thing until it was done.
Yeah, they ate seasonal, so like whatever the season had, that's what they were working on. So
yeah, what's for dinner now? Well, there's snow on the ground. Oh, blueberries? Not now.
So, Marlon, what is your website that people can go to?
It's called resetyourweight.org, all one word.
Resetyourweight.org, and it was a really good video. We liked it.
It was a great video. I think we shared it around a bit.
Yes, we did. We did.
And so here's what reset. In order to, that's just my hypothesis. If you're at 200 and want to get to 150, don't think of it as I have to lose 50 pounds.
Right, right.
Think of it as a goal or destination, because you know that network marketers, it's all about goal setting. And so our brains evolved to deal with goals, not the minutia of how many pounds. Because think about this. If my weight's supposed to be 150, how long does it take me to step on the scale to realize that I'm at 150? Don't take long. I just step on, nope, not there. I can get off.
Right.
But if I have to lose 50 pounds, now I had to do some calculation, which we know Larry have a hard problem with, counting and subtracting and stuff.
Yeah, so, I don't do that.
Only on the fly. He's so funny. He watched that video. He was like, "Oh my God, I know that answer. What's wrong with me?"
Can you imagine Larry trying to remember? He's stepping on the stairs like, now.
I spend so much time trying to empty my mind, right? I don't want to ever think nothing. And then you call me out. I'm like, oh my God, you want me to think? Exactly. I just turned that part off. What do you mean?
So think about that. So you had to step on the scale and remember what your last weight was. Now do some subtraction and then try to figure out how far you are from your goal weight. That's too complex and not necessary.
Too much.
And plus, we're goal oriented. If I'm going to get from Dayton to New Jersey, I can get there. When you do your Google Maps, they give you about 3 different routes to get somewhere, right?
Right.
And so it already tells you it's going to get you to New Jersey. It's just how long you want to take and which route you want to take. Right. So it don't make any difference. That's why you don't count the pounds or anything like that, because it don't make a difference. I can make supposedly a 500-mile trip into a 2,000-mile trip.
It's true.
See? And so that's why your brain just needs a goal. And so with reset, it's very simple. All I have people do is this: get a journal and you write your weight down. If it's 150, you write 150 pounds, 150 times every day before 10 a.m. Because what you're trying to do, I don't really know how we reprogram our brain, but I know by repetition and continuing to do it and keep your mind on it. But the most important thing is get your unconscious mind to buy into the idea that it's supposed to be.
Right, that's what I was going to say. By doing that, 200. Yeah, by doing that repetition. And I've been getting on to him because he's been complaining, oh, my weight. He was like, having a little meltdown at the gym. And I said, but you keep talking bad about yourself. You're like, I'm so fat. I'm so this. I'm so that. Every I am statement, your body is going, yep, I am. That's
then
right.
I decide I was a Greek god. We'll see what happens.
Well, you got to keep saying that to yourself. But it's the same thing. The thalamus, when it goes into this, it's like basically the gateway to your subconscious is, it doesn't matter if it's a true fact or not. It doesn't judge whether it's true or not. If it hears something enough times, it's like, okay, we're going to let you through. And now your subconscious is going to keep bringing that back up. So that I love that. I'm starting to do that, where you write down, like you were saying, like if it's 140 pounds, write down 140 times and just see yourself that way. And remember how you've, like, if you were that weight before, remember how you felt about your body and things like that, because that emotion and bringing that back, living in that moment will help bring it there.
So here's why this works. If you look at your consciousness can take in 50 bits of information a second. your unconscious can take in 11 million bits per second.
Yeah.
So you got an unconscious that's saying my set point weight is 200 pounds. So I have 11 million data points coming in every second that helps drive me towards keeping me on point.
Right.
So when I go to the new weight of 150 pounds, now I'm trying to sell it that, okay, use part of those 11 million bits that come in there every second to see to it that I get to 150. But you have to remember, it don't believe you because it knows your history. It was born with you.
Right.
It knows that you're a quitter.
Right.
It knows that you don't stick to
it knows
stuff.
all the lies.
Right.
The best.
And it ties weight loss to your health, your actual well-being. And so if you don't continue on a regular basis, continue to pound that into it, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop keeping you where you are.
Right.
And so, but guess what? It's going to always throw some stuff in your way to make you quit. And that's just a test to see, are you sincere in making it really get down to that 150?
So your body's challenging you right now.
You know what? Honestly, too, I think I need to share this.
Yeah.
You don't have, it doesn't matter how much you exercise or how much you don't exercise.
Nope.
What really, it really comes, I would say 98% of what a person's trying to do, I guess, with their physique just comes down to what you eat. Nothing more, nothing less. I was saying it earlier, I think in my whole breaking down, like
meltdown.
I work out harder over the course of the past few years, 20 years, probably more than most average people. But I don't actually ever curb my eating all that much. But I can run far. I'm strong.
But your food system.
But my food system,
sucky.
yeah, I just eat me some chicken cheesesteak with cheese fries and a little bit of extra wings on the side. Some gelato afterwards. That's how I.
Some chips.
But I don't, I can't say I'm depressed. I'm like, I just want to eat the stuff. I like it. But I don't, like, since I've been I eat. I don't crave these things, and in fact, now when I eat this stuff,
you feel horrible.
It actually bothers me now. Like my body is,
your body's rejecting it. It's like, no,
you know what I mean?
Don't want this.
Exactly.
It gets inflamed. I get all crampy and I'm uncomfortable, and then the sodium blows me up for the next 2 or 3 days, and I'm like, oh my god, why am I a sausage roll? And so, once you start cutting the stuff out of your system and you don't eat it, you don't really want to go back to it because you feel like crap when you're doing it. Right. But if you do it for a long time, you go numb. You don't realize.
But because you're just your body is just in pain and bloated, and
especially if you exercise,
so it doesn't know any better. It doesn't know anything different.
Right.
Like it's just feeding the same thing, and it doesn't feel it. It's numbed out from that.
And the other important thing is to remember, in order to change anything, you have to have intent.
Yes.
So I have a little success formula that I put together is parentheses I plus C, close parentheses, plus parentheses B plus M plus T plus E, close parentheses. I stands for intent. C stands for consistency. So you have to have intent and consistency. And you add that to belief, motivation, time, energy, and effort, and you should be successful in anything you do. You have to have that intent and that consistency. So you have to initially do that intermittent fast. You have to be paying attention. This is what I want to do. I got to do this. Got to do it. And I got to eat right. I'm only going to eat 1 meal a day. And that's how you have to do it. And then eventually it becomes from a new habit to an old habit. Because what you're trying to do, habits never go away.
Yep.
We just put them in the closet. Right? We just put them in the closet, and they can always come back if you put the time, energy, and effort into them.
Absolutely.
And you know what you just said, it reminds me too of what we try to get across here at Enter Shaolin. Just how important it is to create small, manageable habits that you can stay consistent with. A lot of times, we'll say in our core training, you should do X amount of this or X amount of that. But the reality is, I want to see a person spend an extra 6 minutes every day doing something towards their health. And just do that, just 6 minutes. Prioritize 6 minutes, 7 days a week to your well-being. and
over time,
naturally,
your body's going to want to do more
crave.
healthy
It'll
stuff.
crave more. You know, you'll start feeling fitter, and you'll want to go a little bit farther, and you want to push a little bit more.
Right.
And that just happens. So it's never a struggle to get there. But I think mentally people get caught up in, I can't exercise, I don't have time. I can't eat right, I don't have time. You can break things down. For the longest time, I would drink, sugar in my coffee. And I'm like, well, I'm taking no sugar. Goodbye sugar. I'm not having sugar in my coffee no more.
Right.
I don't drink. I used to drink Snapple iced teas and really high fructose corn syrup drinks. And this was, I guess when I turned 30, I'm like, well, that's out the window. And I just drink water now. And at first, I was like, I don't know if I want to drink water. Now, I don't have no problem drinking water. It's my go-to beverage.
And that's how you do it. Japanese had that term kaizen, where you just concentrate 1 minute. Start with 1 minute on just doing something.
Right.
So that's cool.
And then, like you say, and that'll start you say, all right, 1 minute, let me do 2. The next thing it turns into that habit that you want to do. But you have to set aside that time every day and just do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we got 4 minutes because Sifu Larry's daughter is graduating 8th grade, so he's got a graduation to go to. What are some last minute tips that you'd like to give everyone about just managing your health and well-being as a whole?
Okay. In general, with this, I have people do 5 things. Okay. So a third your weight in ounces of water. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you should do a minimum of 50 ounces of water up to half your weight in ounces. So it's a third to a half. But if you get a minimum, at least a third, up to 2 is avoiding that corn, potatoes, rice, wheat, and sugar as much as possible.
Okay.
And number 3 is getting that exercise in. Number 4, which is the hardest for all of us, 8 hours of sleep.
8 hours.
Very difficult. Very difficult.
I don't know if this is good or bad, but I've noticed since I've been intermittent fasting, I don't need as much sleep. Before, I used to need at least 8 hours of sleep, but now it's more like 6 hours, and I feel fine. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So as long as you wake up refreshed.
Yes, I feel refreshed. Yes.
And that's the key thing.
Okay.
And then the last thing is stress management.
Right.
So people do those 5 things, that'll keep them healthy.
So
and just keep everything simple.
Water? What was the second one? Because I think we missed that one.
Avoiding corn, potatoes, rice, wheat, and sugar.
Right. Exercise.
Sleep.
And
stress.
And manage the stress. Awesome. And that's actually what we've noticed too. If you do all those things, you are just going to be healthier and wealthier because of it, because you're just going to feel better, your brain's going to work better, your energy is going to be better, and you can just accomplish a whole lot more. So thank you so much, Dr. Marlon, for being on. We love having you on, and we can't wait to see you in Washington, D.C. We're so excited.
I'll be there.
About that. And yeah, so thank you for being on. And for those of you that are watching this, we're going to have Dr. Marlon's link underneath here. So if you want to go check out his reset program, you can. And if you ever want to, talk to Marlon and stuff like that, he's on our site. We can definitely get you in contact with him if you have questions, if you're in the Dayton, Ohio area and you want to, have a really amazing doctor that's knowledgeable and in it to win it and isn't just going to throw a bunch of pills at you. This is the man to go see. And
he's not a bad Wing Chun artist himself.
Yeah, and you want to meet him, you can come to our next seminar in Washington, D.C. as well, and come, touch hands with him and stuff like that. He's a great person to get to know. And yeah, if you guys liked what we did here, make sure you comment on it, like it, share it, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Thank you again, Marlon, for being on. We appreciate you and love you, brother.
Anytime. We can do this again on some other topics also.
Awesome. If you have any ideas, throw them at us. Email to us. We'd love to have you on again.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Bye, everyone.